Hey everyone, how's it going? In today's video we're going to talk about the history of the Titans on Earth as we know it to this point. Now in MonsterVerse, various monsters have appeared on Earth in universe for millions of years. Now obviously there's a lot more monsters than we've been shown so far, which is actually a really exciting part of Godzilla King of the Monsters, because while we don't know the monsters yet, we at least know we're going to get more, which hopefully will also contribute to more world building. But when the first ones became documented, the government, and Monarch in particular, called them massive unidentified terrestrial organisms, aka MUTOs. And this is also a designation that they basically just used throughout the whole 2014 movie for the parasitic type MUTOs, I guess you could say. Now, Monarch themselves is a organization studying various MUTOs, and basically they're like the MonsterVerse version of S.H.I.E.L.D. instead of focusing on superhumans and sci-fi type objects and all that good stuff. They focus more on cryptids and maybe, I guess, pseudo-cryptid like organisms. Now, many of these MUTOs are actually ancient superspecies or creatures from at least 250 million years ago, so around the Permian period, and they feed off of radiation, as the radiation levels during that time period were a lot higher than they are currently in the current date. Now, certain beings such as Godzilla were also considered the alpha predators, kind of establishing balance amongst the other species of that world, and it's unknown if other super species such as Kongs were also considered alpha predators. Now, eventually the world cooled and the extinction level events occurred, which eliminated certain creatures like the dinosaurs. However, the more powerful super species and ancient creatures simply did things like hibernating underground, either in pockets within the earth or hiding in other locations with geothermal energy still provided to them, such as a volcano in Rodan's case. And these hibernating creatures, now known as monsters, MUTOs, Titans, would reappear over the centuries before the modern era. In universe for the MonsterVerse movies, and I guess other properties like comics, creatures such as Ghidorah would inspire the rainbow serpent and Hydra from mythologies before finally being frozen in Antarctica, and wasn't really found until more the present day in 2016 by Monarch scientist Vivian Graham. Now, Rodan was based around Mexico primarily, as he was eventually found hibernating in a dormant volcano in 1991. Mothra, she was based in China's Yunnan province, where she was worshipped by the natives there, and eventually found in 2009 by Monarch scientists. And Mothra's case is pretty cool because it seems like we're gonna actually see that moment in Godzilla King of the Monsters. And kind of going through some timeline, I guess, milestones if you will, it said that in 1915, during the dawn of the atomic age, that's really when the awakening of certain members of various ancient superspecies began. And also in 1945, when the atomic bomb in Japan went off, it woke up the Shinomura from hibernation, which we did a video on, I think probably a few weeks, maybe a few months ago. It should be linked in the end card or the comments below. But Godzilla fought this creature various times until it was finally killed in 1954. After 1945, a major sighting was in 1952, according to the Monarch Sciences website, with the Great Smog of London. Monarch theorized that the beating wings of a giant creature could have created an anti-cyclone that unleashed airborne pollutants all across the city, contributing to the smog. Going a few decades later to 1973, Monarch made an expedition to Skull Island, resulting in the interactions with members of ancient species such as Kong, skull crawlers, and more, which we saw the events of in the Kong Skull Island movie. And Monarch was able to keep most of these sightings under wrap until the events of 2014, when the MUTOs awoken, attempting to breed, and in the process, Godzilla appeared, trying to keep balance and keep them from presumably populating out of control. So now the existence of MUTOs or Titans or monsters or kaijus, whatever terminology you want to use, is officially known to the world. So that is kind of the history of the MUTOs, the history of the Titans in the MonsterVerse as we know them today. Comment below your guys' thoughts, and we'll see you guys later.